Hey YouTube, how's it going? Chris Cornars here, the cryptocurrent team, bringing you a brand new episode of Crypto Decrypted, the segment formerly known as Crypto Basics with Chris K. Today we are bringing it all the way back to the basics, following up on our videos about blockchain layers with a video about Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency.
Crypto Decrypted.
And of course, before we dive right into the meat and potatoes today, guys, I do want to remind you that if this is your first time coming to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you know whenever we are uploading new content. But that's enough of the YouTube spiel. Let's dive right on into today's video. What is Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is a type of cryptocurrency because it uses cryptography to keep it secure. And that's something that's really important. You know, that definition is shared by all cryptocurrencies in general. They're a cryptocurrency when, they are a currency, the token itself is able to be transacted, but it's secured digitally because it uses a coded language to make sure that it's safe and secure. That definition is very commonly used in tandem when discussing all cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies, it's kind of like a rectangle versus a square argument, right? Just because something is a cryptocurrency doesn't necessarily mean it's decentralized. But typically, decentralized digital currency is going to be secured via cryptography, okay? And it was created in January 2009 by Satoshi Nakamoto, who isn't a real person. That's actually an anonymous pseudonym, or at least it's assumed to be. Originally, when it came out, it offered the promise of lower transaction fees than traditional payment systems. And of course, because it's decentralized, there is no central authoritarian figure in charge of the currency. So that's a little about what Bitcoin is, but let's dive into how it actually works. Referencing our past video about blockchain, and if you haven't seen that yet, you should really go check it out under the Crypto Decrypted playlist on our channel. Bitcoin transactions are all on a decentralized digital ledger, a blockchain, and their transactions are verified by mining. And we'll do a separate video on crypto mining later because it is quite in depth. And this crypto mining uses a massive amount of computational power to solve complex problems. Okay. And as a result, from being the first computer to solve that, more Bitcoin is then issued. And that's in general how Bitcoin works. The final question, where does its value come from? Although it may seem worthless, it actually shares a lot of the characteristics, all of them, with other forms of currency. You see, all currency has 6 key attributes that define it as a currency. First, it has to be scarce, right? There can't be an unlimited amount of it. Otherwise, well, there's no value then, because why hold it if there's just going to be more and more later that you could always go and get? It also has to be divisible, meaning that when you divide it up, there's not going to be these random small little amounts left over. And I'm not talking about, cutting a dollar bill up into, 100, which would give you 100 cents. I mean, like, there's no quarter of a cent, for example. Beyond that, it also has to be acceptable. People where you're using the currency have to accept and acknowledge that this is a currency and a valid store of value when transacting. It also needs to be portable, right? It's very easy to say, well, I own a mountain. That's valuable, right? Well, it is, but you can't use a mountain as currency because there's no way for you to transport the mountain. And in the same way, currency needs to be portable. You have to be able to bring it with you. All currency also has to be durable, right? It can't just be, a leaf, because that leaf is going to break, crumble, whatever. It's not going to last forever. And finally, all currency also needs to be uniform, meaning that it's resistant to counterfeiting, because it's all, generally the same, right? All $1 bills look the same. And for that reason, you could easily tell if there's, a not so great counterfeit of a dollar bill out there. But let's move on to some examples of other currencies, right? So gold is probably the most common comparison to Bitcoin, right? And gold is a currency because of its physical nature, right? It's inherently valuable, it's rare. Of course, it's also cumbersome. Gold is really, really heavy. And for that reason, governments around the world started issuing paper currency, which was initially backed by gold. Say government had $1 billion in paper currency circulating. Well, that meant they had $1 billion worth of gold in a reserve treasury somewhere. But of course, the downside to paper money is that you have to manufacture it and you have to store it, because at the end of the day, $1 billion $1 bills is going to take up a lot of space. But then those two currencies that I just mentioned, so paper money and gold, they have one thing in common, right? Their value typically comes from their physical characteristics. Digital currencies, on the other hand, look at functional characteristics, meaning Bitcoin, right? Its promise was that it was going to have lower transaction fees and that it was also going to be faster. And that's the general idea. That's where Bitcoin's value comes from, as opposed to gold and paper money, which have physical characteristics that make them valuable and useful. Bitcoin and other digital currencies, their value comes from their functional capabilities, right? How you use them and the inherent benefits of using them in that way. But that's going to wrap things up for us today here, guys. I hope you found that interesting, informative, educational, whatever you want to call it. And if you did, don't forget to drop a like on this video and tell me what you did like about it in the comment section down below. And as always, if there's a certain video you want to see, or if there are any questions you have, you can drop those questions in the comments below as well. But until next Thursday, guys, I'm Chris Cornaros here with the Cryptocurrent team. And I hope you all stay cryptocurrent.